Hi. Blanked on which one of these buttons turns the camera. I was like, wait. Zoom? That's not right. That's the zoom button. Monday vibes. Yeah. It's been a whole day of running around and doing errands, and I left myself notes for a different painting on my palette. Good job. That's not the one you're working on tonight, Mal. I need to write a different note. Alright, bridge painting. Clouds. And what does that say? Bridge lines. Bridge lines. Beautiful. Did the dress arrive? It did. And it's too big. It's beautiful. It's too big. It is also has a small tear in the hem. I bought it used. But it's really nice. So I'm gonna go see how much it costs to have it tailored. Because I really like it. And I already have shoes and earrings and a bag. Is it tailorable? I assume it is, because I found someone else who said that they had the dress and they had theirs tailored. So I assume it can be tailored, and I assume it's not too difficult to tailor. Theoretically, I know what to do to tailor it, but my sewing machine's been like skipping stitches, and I really just need to have it serviced. And that's not happening anytime soon. So we are going to go see what a tailor will do. I also need to take my shoes into a cobbler because the sole is coming undone. So I need to go have that done too. But their boots I wear a lot. So I was gonna have that done regardless. Alright. So all clothing needs to be fixed. We're working on this painting today. We had an underpainting. We had a block-in, which is where it is now. And we're going to move it to the final. I don't know how far we're going to get on that. My hope is pretty far, because I still have another painting to do. And then hopefully a fourth one. Maybe. I did block in the bridge one. Let me grab that. So this is the bridge one blocked in. So that's like the same thing. It's just blocked in solid color. For the most part. There's a little bit of variation, like with the trees. So that's blocked in. And on Friday, we did finish the creek crossing. I didn't sign it on Friday because I was like, about 3 hours after I have coffee, I have a hard time doing small detail work. And like, I could probably sign it now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to sign them all together so the signatures are consistent. Because sometimes I draw them too big, so they're going to be all the same if I do them all at the same time. Why is there a deadline for these paintings? I'm entering them into a show as a set. I would love to have all 4. If I get 3, I will be happy. Does it make it feel like a Friday? It's so weird. I can see a little bit of daylight in this room, and I'm like, man, it's not normally the quality of the light I get through that window. Alright, I need to pull up my photo. There's photo. I'm actually really happy with this underpainting. There's a lot going on I actually really like. Like, I feel like I could do a little bit of detail work and I'd be like, this is kind of nice. There's a lot less sky. So we're gonna start by tapping in a lot of leaves. Then what do I want to do? We're gonna work light to dark, and then we're gonna do a second set light to dark as well, because unlike the creek crossing, we don't have any straight up daylight coming through. Not like we did there. So we're seeing the undersides of all of these leaves, so they get dark, the darkest green in the foreground. So we're gonna do 2 sets of them. I'm just trying to determine if I want to do first set of leaves, and then maybe we'll do the ground except the path, trees like the trunks, second set of leaves, and then we'll do detail on the path, and then like just touch up the bases of some of the tree trunks so they're not like floating there. That seems like a good plan. I should write that down. All of my paint markers are in the other room. I mean, there's obviously some here, but they're not the same. I like these ones. All right, so we're gonna do leaves, light to dark, and then we are going to do ground cover, maybe path. Maybe we should do the path there. And then tree trunks. And then we're gonna do second set of leaves. Leaves, part 2, light to dark. And then maybe just some final detail work. Like, gravel. There. When I write it out like that, it doesn't seem like it's going to be that difficult or that much or take that long. We all know that's a lie. All right, we're sticking with a same palette here, and I may change up the palette a little bit throughout all 4 of the pieces based on what I need to do with it. So like the bridge one has a lot more blue in the sky, whereas this one is very washed out. Like it's almost not blue. It's almost white paint. The girder one, which is just underpainted with burnt sienna right now, that one has red in it, and I don't know if it's alizarin crimson red or not, but that's the back burner painting. If we get to that one, we get to that one. If we don't get it done in time, then that one's not part of the set. We'll see. But this one is a lot more yellow than the last one. So I need to keep that in mind. We may throw sap green into this, even though we've been using hookers. So we might use a little bit of sap. Or maybe. Where are you? You're Jenkins. Dare I bring in the phthalo green? Will it get overwhelming too quickly? It might. I've been finding lately that I don't like the look of phthalo. And like, yeah, it is in Hooker's green hue. There's multiple phthalos in this, but I think the combination of it helps. Titanium white, and if we're going yellow-green, we need to tone down the saturation a little bit. So we need probably alizarin, because it's slightly on the violet side of red. The phthalo green, my beloved. Oh, I need another note for the other painting in the sketchbook. of sky colors in photoreal. That's for the bridge painting, not this one. All right, well, we're mixing up colors. We have a 27-month resub from Miss Like Effect Gaming. Welcome in tonight. We will be back to games next week. We will not be painting next Monday. We have a 28-month resub from Humbology, 41 from Seb the Original Pleb, 9 from Silver Cates, 22 from Elven Scout 44, and 41 from Aiden C. Thank you all. Did I ever go to the art store like you were saying Friday's painting stream? I did not. I just ordered things. I looked at my deadlines and thought this takes priority. What game, or is it secret? I'll announce it after. We'll talk about it when I'm done for the night. All right, what do I want to add on to this? This should be good. How's the dust going? So we finished upstairs completely. We have to finish downstairs. We cleaned and dusted the guest room because Josh had just been here, so like that's all clean. We washed all the sheets for whoever our next guest is going to be. I cleaned the bathroom, mopped the floor for the bathroom because it's tile. And we started dusting the walls of the new room because they're super dusty and you really don't want that in the paint. So, like that is all done in there. We haven't done the floors yet because we did have to order a new floor cleaner. And, because I didn't like what I had been using. And it showed up on the door and was leaking. So that sucked. All right, how am I feeling about this green? It's kind of a mid-tone green. It's not really my highlight green. Oh, yeah, he did say something. We need to be a lighter green and yellower. What's yellower? Oh, we have 5 gift subs. They're coming from Player1TL. Thank you. Thanks for gifting subs out. Those subs went to Bricklin H, Devens, Chloe Siegel, Dark Shadow, and Phantom SVT. Thank you. Appreciate that. Because we're having a non-standard Monday night stream. How do I feel about this green? Still not yellow enough. It's looking a little toxic. I feel like I've just been unhappy with all of the greens I've mixed up lately for the yellow greens. I still think lighter and yellower. Oh, welcome in. I'm glad you could make it. This is a non-traditional Monday night stream. Normally we're playing a game. But I was explaining that I have a deadline for these paintings, and so we are doing a painting stream. We're also between games right now, because we did beat Ghost of Yote last week, and DLC isn't out yet, and there's a little bit of cleanup that we could do with Ghost of Yote, but I also have a deadline, so we're gonna do this tonight. So we're just going to paint for like 2 hours, and we'll see how I feel, because technically I didn't have dinner, but we also had a super late lunch at Costco. All right, this green is getting somewhere. Yellow. More yellow. Did you do the cost dog? Costco doesn't have any great options for me, in my opinion. I cannot have a hot dog every time. And like, I would eat the sandwich, but the sandwich is $7. And it's also huge. I really only want half a sandwich. Nothing feels like Mallory-sized lunch. And like, they have chicken tenders, but like, you could split those with 3 people. I didn't mean to get so much of that on the blue color. This is closer. Steven portions. And like, we got dinner for tonight when we were there. And I was like, oh, I'm not hungry. Maybe I'll be hungry after stream. And then like, I don't like to eat that late. It just gets complicated. Fear. All right, more yellow. I'm gonna put all of this paint aside because there's starting to be way too much of it. Take half of it and then try and make our color. Because the yellow and the white have a low tinting strength, which means that it takes a lot of it to change the color. So if I'm using less of the base green that I've mixed, it should go faster. See how bright that is? It still feels a little too yellow now. We're gonna go with it though, as our first yellow. Now I need a nice brush. Let's use this one. I don't actually need that much of this light color for my first set of leaves, because we're doing leaves in 2 parts, because you don't see very many of these highlights back here. We kind of just get a little bit. Am I still looking into palette cam? Yeah, that's a future problem though. We got too much going on right now otherwise. I'm trying not to cover up the sky completely, and like I said, there's a lot less sky in the photo than there is in the painting currently, but that's on purpose because we get little peaks of it throughout all of this, and if I didn't put it here, then like that's not going to exist later. So these edges will be softened by bringing leaves out into the blue. Okay, moving on. So I'm actually really happy with this color. Let's put this aside. Maybe not all of it, but like a good chunk of it. And we're gonna wrap it really, really good in plastic and maybe put some slow dry in it and hope that we have it for later when we get to leaves part 2. All right, now we're going to take the rest of that I have, and we're going to make a darker color. My goal is kind of a steel green, so we're going to add more Hooker's green into it and tone the saturation down with alizarin. And there's a lot of titanium white in this already, so hopefully I don't have to add any more to make it more steel colored because it'll be desaturated. And this is kind of just turning to mud because there was so much going on already. And my goal for this color is to be darker than the last one, but not as dark as it could be for what I need it to be. All right, see, it's lighter, but it's also green and less yellow. It needs to be even lighter than this though. Because as we move into our deeper greens, they're going to get less yellow. But not every tree is going to be the same color, so thus this way. This way we're going a little bit more green. This is getting closer. You're telling Steven. Steven, I skipped your song. Casino Money came up. Oh, is that all? Yeah, that was all. All right, that brush is too wet. We need something less wet, like this one. That one's too soft. Maybe this one and this one. Okay. Where's chalk? There's chalk. This line is a little bit off. This needs to get up a little bit higher. Hope I'm Earthbound comes up. I don't think it's in there. There's a lot less light peeking through right here. So we're just going to skip that until maybe the next color. Dropping brushes. I just ordered another one of these. They were on clearance. Because like I said, I was going to go to the art store, and then I didn't. And then I just ordered everything, and this brush was on clearance. So we have another one. We love clearance. More brushes on clearance. It has lyrics too. I'm not sleeping. Radio Dread, go to bed. We have a subscription from Player. Thank you. Welcome to the stream. I'm so glad you were able to make one. Jewish casino money we're playing. As soon as the poll is done, I'm skipping this. Don't sleep on this poll. This isn't the right green for over here. 8 of you are sleeping? Alright, we can skip it now. I decided we needed a lighter color over here. There. Now there's some variation. If I wash this brush immediately, it might be dry by the time we mix our next color. Guess I'm not sleeping tonight. Whew. Listen, my deadline is not that dire that I need to do gremlin hours yet. Alright, I want to save this color too. So we're going to mix slow dry into this. Take this much of it. That may have been too much. It's probably fine. Would you gremlin stream? If I had to. If I don't have all 3 done by the deadline, there will be gremlin painting. There may not be gremlin stream, but there will be gremlin painting. Just gonna do a chill 100K ride this weekend and paint. $100K in one day? Yep. That's only 62 miles. When I did Bike Fest, I did 62 on that. Although that was road, and road's a little bit easier to go further on. Only. I'm also looking at doing a 200K next month, so like... That's 120 miles. How many 100Ks have I done? 3? 3. And those are the furthest I have gone. So if I'm doing a 200K, that will be the furthest I've ever gone. By like double. Gross. What's the equivalent of a 100K bike in running terms? 100 miles, which is a imperial century. I would consider that the equivalent of a marathon in running. So this is like somewhere between a half marathon and a full marathon would be what I would equate it to. Because when you finally break 100 miles, that's a pretty big achievement in cycling. And I feel like, just as a non-runner, that when you run your first marathon, that's a pretty big achievement in running. So I'm going to equate 100 miles to a marathon. Someone's probably actually like figured it out. This is me completely guessing. The ride I did on Saturday, I was riding with a friend of mine, and he kept saying, "Why are you going so fast? Slow down." I was like, "I'm not thinking, I'm just riding." And he's like, "Yeah, and what's your heart rate at?" I was like, 180. A contest where Chaz runs 100 miles and I bike 100 miles, who wins? 100 is a lot to run. Like, that's far. That is too far on foot. Chaz, Mallory. What? I was trying to keep up. I was just riding, and we were chatting, and I wasn't thinking about, like, my speed or what my heart rate was. It just bike. It just happens. Do I want this greener, or do I like it where it is? It's too dark. It's not that dark on the palette, but the second I bring it up here, it's too dark. So we're going to lighten it up. I'm not using my gray palette. I found, and like the science says, is when you use neutral gray as your palette, it's easier to mix your colors. Which I know, that one has stuff on it that I need right now. So we're using the off-white palette. All right, this should be better. That is much better. All right, this will be our next green. And this one is going to do the most work, I think, in covering up the sky. Oh, this is perfect. We like this. So the goal is not to completely cover the blue, it's to leave a little bit. And dream. That is the best comment this week, hands down. Whew. It feels like Gremlin Hour stream. Happy Friday. There was an event in Raleigh I thought would have been really fun to go to this past weekend, but it was one of the days where I was trapped in the house because of Wall. And then by the time Wall was done and I was able to leave the house, I was like, I should probably start cleaning up some of this dust. And that was the right call. But it was a build your own vehicle race, but they were all bike powered, I think was the rules. It was called Kirby Derby. And I saw photos because friends of mine went and it looked like so much fun. So maybe I'll get to go another time. But it feels great to have Wall finished. Yeah, I cannot wait to have it clean downstairs so that we can flip the living room around, because since we moved in we've wanted to do this and have the TV on the other wall, so that's very exciting. All right, this tree, Mr. Wall Builder build up that wall. He did it so quick. Like, I'm so surprised. My dad's been trying to have a pole building built, and it's taken like literal years. I was talking to him today, and he's like, yeah, we met with our contractor, and they're 99.9% done. And I was like, wow. Ours is also 99.9% done. A lot of the leaves I'm seeing in the photo where you can see sky through it are this color. So I'm trying to just fill all of that in. Give it some nice detail. You going downstairs?
No, I'm still dealing with video stuff.
Oh, okay.
But I'll be done soonish. I got the painting segment from Colo out and the Pico Park segment from Colo out onto the VOD channel. Those will be the only ones I'll be posting. MC told me that everything will be out at some point on the official Colo channel, but in the meantime, like, you know, if there's stuff that we did and we want to post, we can. And I'm like, okay, well, those are kind of like my big two things, because I hosted Pico and I co-hosted painting.
Yeah.
So those are out now on the VOD channel for anyone that missed them, that wants to see them. And yeah, I gotta do another thing, and then I'll be working downstairs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Working downstairs to remove all of the construction dust. This brush is getting a little too full of paint. When I was painting the bridge painting and blocking that in, I kept looking over at my screen, which is one of the ways I look at it from a little bit further away when I'm streaming. But I didn't have the computer on, so I kept looking at an empty space because the laptop screen was closed. So I was making no progress in doing that. And I felt quite silly every time I did it. All right. Color is good. Made chili tonight. Oh, that sounds good. See, I didn't think I'd be hungry after like having Costco so late, and now I am. Snack. So, was it Friday? I was like, oh no, I cannot have food because they blocked us in. Yeah, we didn't get to eat till like 5 p.m. that day. And Saturday, I brought snacks upstairs, just in case. And if you remember, at like 11, I was like, hey Steven, go get me a fig bar. That didn't happen. Could I have probably been like, hey, can you let me through so I can go get food? He probably would have said yes. That was way too much red in this color I'm mixing. That was a mistake. Oh, that neutralized that a lot. Whoops. Move you aside. dark fresh, and then use a little bit of that to neutralize the new green. All right, I'm happy with new green. Yep, happy with new green. We need to do some of the yellows too, because we're doing like this bluish steel color, and we're also doing this yellowy green color. So we have two greens that are happening right now. And I probably should have worked on the yellowy color first. I didn't. Epic DXX gifted a sub too. SP3Z. I feel like I know how to pronounce your username and I'm just blanking on it. I'm tired. It's been such a week. Mentally, just... Woo. I need more yellow. Spez, thank you. Like, sometimes I can hear it in my head, like, I've heard Steven say names, or, like, even myself, and then it's just sometimes gone. Like, even, like, friends' names sometimes, like, I start questioning myself, like, is it a long A or a short A? Is it, like, aunt? Like... More green. It's me when reading to my mom. Yeah. Is it Chaz or is it Ches? Cheese. Cheese sticks. How do I feel about this green? Good. We like this. Maybe this brush? Let's see. I'm hoping that at some point this all just is like, wow, look at all these layers of green. Like it more than the normal you say it? Good. I have a friend whose family is from Nepal, and I thought I knew how to say her name. And then I was talking to someone else about her, and they were like, that's not how you pronounce it. I was like, oh no, have I been mispronouncing her name the whole time? So I asked her at one point, I was like, hey, I'm really sorry. and she has a very, very strong California accent. And she's like, I honestly don't care. She's like, I know I'm not pronouncing it correctly, according to like how my family says it even. I was like, oh. And like, I know my name is incredibly different in Japanese, or difficult in Japanese, because it's the RL sound. So it's just mostly obliterated. Come down here, and you go here. So you need to be very filled in. Fossick's gifted us up 2 cheese. And like in English, it's Mal. It ends on the L if we're doing just that and not Mallory. But like, we have to end on a vowel in Japanese. So I tend to just default to Maru. Like the cat. There's no sky that sits right here. It should be all green, so we're just going to fill that in. Or Maro. When I spell out Mallory in katakana, I use ro. Today's word was telemetry. I could not get it out of my mouth. Ah. English is so weird. There's that poem that's like showing off all of the difficulties in English. I remember reading it in English class. Tonal languages have something similar, but at least there's tonal shifts. The boy I dated in high school studied abroad in Taiwan, yes. And he was learning Mandarin, and he said there was a poem that was like the same word, but it was like tonally just all over the place. He was fluent in Japanese. He had studied abroad there for a while and then got picked to go somewhere else, and they placed him in Taiwan. Ah, the she poem. Yes, the she poem. See how much of the sky is getting covered now? I really love when that comes together. And it's surprising every time. How long have I been painting? Forever. How many times is it surprising? Every single one of them. I'm out of green. sappy mood. I know. Alright, we're gonna tone this down, add a little bit of the old color that we messed up. More yellow. More of the color we messed up, because like we should use it. Realize we did not mix enough color. That's Thalo. Looked up Stevens. It's Sutefan. My high school ex needed me to tutor him in just about every subject, but he was fluent in 3 languages and helped me study Spanish. Some people have different gifts. It's true. Hearing different people talk about things is, I really love that. Like, on Tuesday last week, one of my bike friends worked on my bike, and he's just talking about things like, oh, your rotor's out of true, which, like, I know those words. I don't know how to fix it. I was like, does that mean I need a new one? He's like, I could fix it. He's like, but my tool that I have just broke. He's like, so when I get a new one, we'll fix it. He's like, you could also probably use new brake pads. And he's showing me what that looks like. And I was like, okay. I don't know what I'm looking at. But, like, I learned a lot. I do like learning. I want to learn more things. And, like, not just bike stuff. Like, Noah talks science at me all the time, and I love it. Sometimes it's, like real science. Like, too science. Too sciencey. But it's fascinating, and I can kind of comprehend it. And if I knew all of the vocab terms, I'm sure it would be fine. Real Brooklyn science. This color, I forgot how I made it, and now I'm struggling to remake it. We're getting there though. But I've already made a lot of puddles of paint that are the wrong color on the palette, and I don't want to waste paint. So I'm using like a little bit of those colors because they're like approximations. I know nothing about cars. And I mean, I feel like I know some because like my dad always had different cars growing up. But I don't know anything about fixing cars. Closer. And like when Wall Guy was here last week, yeah, I know what studs look like, and I know about like how it should look because I've been in a lot of houses as they were being built. And like my parents were always doing renovation stuff, like both parents. Separately because they were divorced. And like my mom dated a guy that was a contractor for a while. And I learned how to like put tile down and how to grout tile. But like, do I know what I need to buy to actually like glue the tile to the floor? No. But it's not that far out of a wheelhouse. And like that's kind of fun to learn and figure out. This is close. It might have to do, and that would be fine because it's nature. And so I think I might just let this be. could pick a wall out of a lineup. I don't know, I just feel like theoretically I know, like, you put the top down and like you build it, and you have to have studs, and I know they go a certain distance apart, but I don't know what that distance is offhand. I feel like I know little bits and pieces of things, but not enough to have a complete knowledge of it. Which, you know, gets me so far. But then there's people who know music. Music is way out of my league. Or like 14 and change it because of the width of the studs. I know very little about current musicians. Like, I know Raleigh's doing a music fest. And everyone's like, oh, I only know like 4 of the bands. And I was like, I know 1. Or like hearing Carlos talk, or Sab, or any of them, Jules, it's just, I'm like, I can play clarinet and read treble clef, but I don't know how scales, like, it's like math a little bit. I know that much, but I don't know anything about it. So I like hearing things from people. I think it's fun to hear them talk about their passions and the things they're knowledgeable about. Because I don't always know it, and I like to learn things. Vagabond, remind me later to look them up. And I will check. And Dream says, I agree, and I think a lot of people are self-conscious about sharing because they worry it's boring. Yeah. We need to bring a little bit more of this yellow in. I lost it. We need to bring it in. That's better. Vagabond, sometimes I think I live a boring life, but then people say I do too much. You are so busy. All right, where do I need to bring more green? We're almost done with leaves part 1. How are we feeling about leaves part 1? Leaves the sequel. When is Leaves Part 2 happening? It's happening after Tree Trunks. Alright, I'm trying to determine if I want to be done with leaves part 1. I think we need to do one more layer darker of both the blue-green and the yellow-green. And then we can be done with leaves part 1. But I have this one mixed up, so we can just move straight into it. Dieter's right, Renee. Several times a week I have to remind the kids that I do in fact know things. Ah. That was way too much paint. Can't have that. We will lose all of our texture. Did it again. Lose all the texture over here. It's okay. It is getting deeper. All right, one more green. And then we can move on to, I think path first. And then ground cover, which will be all of like this. Trying to save all these greens because we're gonna need them for leaves part 2. All right, this should be the last green. And it's going to look a lot like the last one, and that's okay. It's just yellower. And I do think I want to make all of this darker, so we're just gonna fill it in. I needed to bring more green down here anyway. Oops, forgot it. I decided to bring in a darker color even because I forgot to do all of this down here. So we need to add some sort of shadow into this area and maybe a little bit in here. What am I looking at? Yes, okay. Knock something over. Hi, Raiders. Yeah, I'm way too focused. I just finished that part. We finished Leaves Part 1. Leaves Part 1. Hi, Masay. Thank you. Love you too. We are doing a rare Friday night art stream. Normally we're playing a game. Welcome in, Raiders. I have a deadline. I'm trying to finish at least 3 paintings by like the end of the month. 4 would be great. This is 2. You mean Monday? Yeah, Monday night. Oh my god. Normally I'm painting Friday mornings. That's what it is. It can't be Friday, not already. She's in a time warp. Oh. So we're trying to get these done. And like, it's not dire yet. I'm right between games anyway. I just finished a game last week Monday on my stream, so it was like, we should paint. I need to get more of this done. But we just finished Leaves Part 1. And Leaves Part 1 was like detail and depth, but not full detail and depth. So we're gonna have a lot more like actual leaf textures instead of random fuzzy shapes, which is what we have right now. But Leaves Part 2 will fix that. I made a list of what I need to do. And we just finished Leaves Part 1, so next we're gonna work on the path. We're going to get that looking nice. And then the ground cover, which is all of like this section. Anything that's not the path on the ground. And then we move to the tree trunks, which I've just obliterated by painting Leaves Part 1. And then we do Leaves Part 2. Leaves Part 2 will probably be Friday. We also had a 7-month resub from I Am Orange Lion. Welcome in. And then we had the raid. Thank you, Miss A. Welcome, Raiders. Next is path. I have not path colors on the palette, so we're going to clear that off. I did pretty good about using the wrong color up. There wasn't much left. We're going to take a couple second stretch break, water break, soak the palette so I can scrape off the paint I don't need. Pee break if you need it. I do like where this is going compared to where I had it at the start, and there was some cool things happening with it. It was a little abstract expressionist, but I like detail, so we're adding detail. And I can't believe it's already been 1:40. Made brown butter chocolate chip cookies. Oh, that sounds so good. I tried to convince Steven to buy a cake at Costco. They had like 3 new cakes that I haven't had before. We didn't. Should have went with Chaz. Chaz and I went to Trader Joe's last week, and I bought donuts and another kind of donut. They had a strudel cheesecake at Costco. And they also had a waffle cone bar cake. The waffle cone bar cake I have not seen. And maybe I'm misremembering, but I feel like I heard that the cheesecake, the strudel cheesecake, was not good. Yeah, the apple cider donuts from Trader Joe's are amazing. That's what we bought. Alright, I need to sketch on this because I feel like my lines aren't great. Path. Like, I'm curving that too much. Yeah, I need to cut that off sooner. And this line, I made it way too curvy. Like, it curves a little bit, but not quite this much. Despite the line going there, I think this tree just needs to be closer. Like, the path does jut all the way over here. That feels better. All right, I have good base layer in already. So I'm trying to decide exactly how I want to go about this. Maybe Steven doesn't want to accidentally leave the cheesecake in the car. My plan is to finish the path and then call it for tonight. And I don't know how long the path will take, but that's the goal. We did leave the dish soap in the car because we put it in the back seat because the seats are up right now and it wasn't fitting in the back of the truck, the Subaru. And we forgot that there. Only for like 20 minutes. All right, I was mixing Prussian with Sienna? Must be Sienna. Did we ever get the yogurt? I mean, yeah, and then we threw it away because it had been like 2 days. For those of you that missed it, Stephen went and bought me yogurt. And then a few days later I was like, did you get the yogurt? It's not in the fridge. And he was like, it's in the car. It's been in the car. I mean, it was sealed because it was one of those, I mean, this is a feta container, but like this big. And it had the foil on top and then a plastic cap on top. So it was sealed. If you open it though, no. That got thrown away. All right, this is our darkest color. And I'm only gonna really put that under like a few rocks. So I'm not gonna bother keeping it on the palette. We're just gonna mix up our next color. And then later we can add it under a few rocks that seem to need it. Just ferment it a little more. Gross. This color is way too blue still. It's a little too blue, but we're right in the shade family of where we want to be. All right, my plan for this is to kind of do the same thing, is to tap in texture and just concentrate it where I need to. This brush is too wet. No. I should stop using this one. It's like, I can't even pull it. There's so much dried paint in it. I think this is gonna look silly and super in focus because it's the only thing that will be totally done. This brush is not great for what I'm about to start doing to scrub this in. This is a nice brush. We should not ruin it by scrubbing. We should grab this really old filbert. It is green. Thank you, Phantom. Like, I want this texture, but I also need it to be a bit darker behind it in some spaces, which is why I'm dry brushing some of this on here. And I also feel like it needs to be a little bit more brown, especially here. So we might brush a little bit of brown on top of it later. We have a 39-month resub from Mayo. Hi, welcome in. Rare Monday night painting stream. That was way too dark right there. That's fine. It's getting a little dappled, which is exactly what we're going for. Evening afternoon art. Yeah. I don't like what that did there. We're going to erase it. Or at least soften it. Yeah. Okay. Next layer. still too blue. That's better. I think I'm gonna start by doing the same treatment where I scrub this in a little bit. And then we're also going to tap in specific little stones. We have a 15-month resub from Aggregated Molecules. Hi, welcome in. It's Monday night painting time. There is a little bit of underpainting showing through. And that's okay. I need to let that be okay. And it's the warm tone I'm using too, so it's okay. Someone spilled burnt umber on this pathway. I am destroying the highlights on purpose. We will get back to them. This can stay.
Can't stick around, gotta keep moving on. Guess what lies ahead? Only one way to find out. Must keep on moving ahead. No time for guessing, follow my plan instead. Trusting in what you can see. Take my lead, I'll set you free. Follow me, set me free. Trust me and we will escape from the city. I'll make it through. Follow me, set me free. Trust me and we will escape from the city. I'll make it through, prove it to you. Follow me.
I've decided the very last thing on my list of things to do is final detail work, and then I wrote gravel question mark. We're going to just do values here and a little bit of texture, and then we'll bring in some more specific detail at that point if it needs it.
Got to live and learn. I know it's some left that will make it through. Got no other options, only one thing to do. I don't care what lies ahead. No time for guessing.
But what I should do, because I'm going to run out of this color, is I should make a note.
Find the next stage, no matter what that may be. Take my lead, I'll set you free. Follow me, set me free. Trust me and we will escape from the city. I'll make it through. Follow me, set me free.
What is this? Prussian? Sienna? And titanium white. And he said some girl in class told her her art stinks, and her response was paper mache usually does that. Yeah. We were using, the teacher I was working with at the time was like, you can do paper mache with flour and water. And I was like, okay. And she's like, I also use a lot of salt because we have mice in the school and then they won't eat it. Well, we did the project right before winter break and the mice got hungry. So after that, I started buying the paper mache in a box, which is like clear. We called it elephant snot. It was like clear goop. And that was not flour based. It turns out mice love salt. I may have just abandoned that project when that happened. The students were like super disheartened about it. I was like, maybe we can just stop and I won't grade it. Just move on. The solution was not get the mice out of the school. Public school. This path is looking really good. It's a mess, but it's looking really good.
Trusting in what you can see. Take my lead, I'll set you free. Follow me, set me free. Trust me and we will escape from the city. I'll make it through. Follow me, set me free. Trust me and we will escape from the city. I'll make it through. Follow me.
Picked up the school and shook the mouse out. Oh, somehow I don't quite think that would work. It's quite a big school.
I'll make it through, prove it to you. Follow me.
When I took this photo, I was actively biking, so in my photo of this, it's blurred. We need a smaller brush for the distance stuff because it's so far away. Don't bike in camera, Jet says. Lunar Pearl actually yelled at me for that yesterday. I had sent her a photo. She's like, why aren't your hands on the handlebars? I was like, because... It's like you're not supposed to be on your phone while driving. I was taking a picture. That looks good. I'm really excited to step back from this. A lot of bike folks around here have this bike equivalent of dash cams. A friend of mine does, and he actually caught a crash we had last week. The guy I bought my bike from fell. They had just finished repaving a road, and it was covered like in this oil slick. And we were going, and I was right behind him, and the guy with the camera was next to me. And we took a turn, and friend's bike went whoop, and the guy with the camera caught it. And watching it back, I was like, oh, it wasn't as bad as it was in the moment living it, watching him go down. I think I need to go lighter still on this, but we're getting a good dappled texture effect in here, and that's great. Bike bloopers. I mean, he does have some wicked road rash. Time to switch back to little brush. All right, I think one more brighter. 32 and I still don't know how to ride a bike. If you live in a medium to large city, you can probably find clinics, even for adults. Raleigh hosts one. A friend of mine tends to work it. He actually tends to work the kids one because there's a kids learn to ride a bike thing. My advice is find a bike that's small for you. Lower the seat all the way so you can get both feet flat on the floor. And then like treat it like a balance bike. And like just practice on that. And then like if you feel comfortable, then start putting your feet on the pedals. But I would go balance bike route. You can take the pedals off temporarily if that helps, and then put them on in a bit. All right, lighter gray. Cool. Let's go with this. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do gravel detail on this. Pretty sure. But that's okay. We can do that later. Okay, I think that's a great spot to leave it for tonight. I do need to fill in a little bit more of my little notes. This gray, so that if I need to actually put gravel in later, like actual chunks of it, that I have those colors. All right, let's go over the plan. Friday morning. I'm starting on Friday morning. We're going to continue this. Next up is the ground cover, which is this triangle and this triangle. And then it's tree trunks and leaves part 2. And then like final detail work. So that's actually not all that much. It's a pretty good amount to get we got through today to be able to do that next time. All right, let's cover up all of these. And we'll talk about the other things coming up. Actually, there's not that much to cover. We'll just put it on the paint sheet. Wonderful. We did save all of our greens. So on Friday, we have green. Video game reveal, please? Yeah, we'll talk about what I'm playing next Monday. And one more brush. This is the brush I was looking for. All right. Today's Monday. Tuesday, tomorrow morning we have breakfast stream. So, just gonna be normal breakfast stream. Tune into that. Wednesday, Steven is continuing... Nope. Is he starting new game this Wednesday? While I wait on someone to answer that for me. This is an 11 by 14 inch painting. Somewhere I have a ruler, but I think I moved it because I was doing something else. So this is just under a foot. Zelda Begins. All right, that's what it is. Yeah, Link to the Past starts on Wednesday. So, Chaz has some new alerts for that. Tune in, it'll be exciting. Thursday will be normal breakfast stream. Friday morning we will hopefully finish this. And hopefully the bridge is further along by then too. Hope so. I'll probably work on that Wednesday while he's doing Link to the Past. And then I'll probably work on it Thursday. And then we'll do this Friday. And hopefully we're done with those 3. And then if I'm feeling really inspired despite doing 100K this weekend, we'll do the Girder Bridge. And then Sunday will be Celeste, and Friday will be the final stream for Hitman. So tune in for that. And then next Monday, we're starting a new game. And what's our new game, you ask? I just want to make sure I have it right. Yeah. I'm gonna try out, and I'm not committing to a full playthrough, Death Stranding for the PS4. Oh yeah, Shelf Control is Saturday. So I'm probably gonna paint one of those paintings, one of the days I'm not biking. So yeah, Monday we're gonna start Death Stranding. And we're gonna see how we feel about it. I'm not committing to a full playthrough. Steven's like, you will probably like it, and you will probably want to continue playing it. And the reason I had to check was because earlier I was talking to Steven, I was like, yeah, it has what's-his-face in it, and then I blanked on Norman Reedus, and I was thinking Neiman Marcus, and I'm like, that's not even close. That's a department store. The first 120 minutes or so of a video game. Yeah. At some point after the Ghost of Yote DLC comes out, we'll do like the 2 more painting spots and then play the DLC probably. But for now, we're going to play Death Stranding. Retail Stranding. That's the plan for Monday. But yeah, Shelf Control is Saturday, Celeste is Sunday, Hitman is Friday, more of this on Friday. It's a busy weekend. William H. Macy's. Retail feels like Death Stranding sometimes. I know Dan and I know Roland both really love Death Stranding. So I'm excited to see it. At least one stream every day till next Friday. Death Stranding is 41-hour game main story. I know it's a Kojima game. Yeah, that's really all I know about it, and that Norman Reedus is in it. And that Dan and Roland like it. It's the end of the things I know about it. I know it's on PS4 because I had to check the spreadsheet today to make sure we had a copy. Alright, all the paint's off my hands. Alright, everyone. I think those are all the announcements. Thanks everyone for tuning in to a Monday night painting stream. I'm happy with the progress on this, and we'll continue it on Friday. And I don't know when the next painting's going to come out, because if these end up in a show, they're going to be in a show. I can probably still put them on Redbubble, but I don't know. But then after they've been in a show, you can say they've been in a show. And that's exciting. Are we doing a raid? Well, I know Massey isn't live because we got their raiders earlier. Is anyone up? Normally Massey is still up. I don't know who else is on. Yeah. Desert tonight. Raid your dishes. I'm gonna go. It's 9:30. I can probably go work on cleaning downstairs for an hour. And I am going to do that. I'm gonna say take your viewers back. Alright, thanks for tuning in. I will see you all in the morning for breakfast stream, and have a good Monday night, and go get your dishes done.